Welcome back to episode 16 of Hermitcraft. We're straight back into the action. We've got a bunch of builds that we want doing today, but the first thing that needs to be done is we need to shift over these two little pork pies right here. We're going to take these guys over to the shopping district because they have a new lease of life. Our two very competent officers have finally decided it's time to do their job, so we're going to head over. I've already lost a pig. We're going to head over to the shopping district and introduce them to the job. And if you don't know who the most competent men on the server are, they both begin with S. It's Scar and Skiz. This has been a delightful walk through the server. I'm actually starting to get a bit lost. I've been flying, so I definitely appreciate my elytra more and more. I forgot just how long it takes to get all the way over there. And there's not a single person in sight. And not a single... They told me that they needed Prismarine so badly, and yet not a single sale. Alright, we're gonna meet them here. I've left the pigs over at the shopping district. Oh, I've got to fix that entrance.
That's my secret entrance. I showed Skizzy Wizzies.
All right, fellas, let me turn on the lights.
Skiz, have you seen the portraits? Look at the kitty. He's hanging in there.
I know, I love it.
He's going to get more and more buff as the season goes on because he's been hanging in there for so long. All right, guys.
We're here.
Yeah.
We've been requested to come.
I think I put in that request a month ago, which is good because it means you're the right fellas for the job. You've got the heart of the permit office beating within your chest. I'm just the permit guy. I'm the permit office guy. I'm afraid you're going to need a supervisor, and that means taking this one step above me. You're gonna have to talk to my manager.
Dude, he's got an official vest.
That is official.
Fresh out of training. You've had your training, right? Oh, jeez, what a corporate sending me to deal with.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Chest bump.
So the first things first, guys. You are going to be managing the shopping district on the ground floor. You're going to be on the ground. You're going to be making sure that the rules are kept, okay? But I cannot stress this enough. You are not police officers. You have no power. You just need to enforce the rules and make sure that everyone does what they need to do, or they get shut down. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, let's just keep that between us.
Oh yeah, they don't
please.
need to know that. They don't need to know that.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm afraid neither of you can wear what you're wearing. So I hope Scar's done his thing.
Oh yeah, I did do that. I have done something. I have. Hold on. Like Grian's wardrobe change. Woo-wee!
You know that their wardrobe change is a lot longer than mine. See, Manager Grian was ready to go.
Kazam!
Kazam! Yeah, that took so long, Scar.
What happened to him?
Slow. Yeah, he's even slower. This is the the mustache. Oh, and the shorts. To put your diamond armor back on there, fella.
You're gonna catch a sunburn, man. It gets better. It gets better, boys. Gets better. Skiz?
Yes, sir.
Your very own citation book. And there's a hat in there, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, you're prepared.
Go.
Oh, no.
I told you I've been excited and waiting.
No way. Give us one. Let's have a look.
Here, put it on, Graham. Put it on.
Look at the size of that. It's bigger than you. These officers have big heads.
Yes, we do.
You can see, look, you can see a pixel of his eye.
Yeah, my eyes, my eyes hanging out the bottom. I'm not sure.
He's got a little droopy eye.
Not sure it works on me. Well, you look the part. That's the main thing. Let's head over to the shopping district so I can tell you what you actually need to do.
Oh,
hold on, I'm gonna sleep.
Up here, I see you.
Great. Good. Some people are following the rules. Other people, including myself, and maybe even you, Skiz, you might be the first on your own list.
What?
Haven't been following the rules. I mean, okay. So there's a few things. It's time to start taking this shopping district more seriously, okay? The time of the pop-up is over. In a few weeks, and I'll let you know closer to the time, we're going to have a pop-up purge. No more pop-up shops. We're over that hurdle now. There's materials. They can build a real shop now. Am I right?
You're right. You're right.
I'm ready to crack some fists.
So there's a lot of pop-up shops, which means
Can
you
we
need to
burn
give
them?
them you need to give them fair warning, and then when that date hits, if they've still got their pop-ups, you can
We burn
pick,
'em.
You can I was gonna say pick them up and put them in a pile and close them down.
Okay, we can do that. And then burn them.
No, no.
Don't-
This is the big one. After the pop-up purge, sometime after that, we're gonna make sure that everyone is actually made a shop for their permits.
Ooh, I was going to ask about that.
That's the future one. We're not there yet. First is the pop-up purge.
If they haven't made a shop with their permit yet, we burn their base, right?
No, you know what? You're fired. I can't trust you.
No.
No, I'm on my
Sir
best
Scar,
behavior.
keep
I
I'm getting
got the
some.
hat. I
I'm
got the
getting
hat.
some real red flags here.
Just here. Here, back up a little bit, Scar. There we go. Just back up. There we go. He didn't mean any of that. He's just trying to get
Yeah,
a
no,
feel
I
for
didn't
it. He
mean
wants to
anything.
make the permit office proud. He's getting a little overzealous.
Right.
Just for
so
fun.
is that
Okay.
clear? If there's any other rules you want to make up along the way, the permit office really doesn't care.
Right.
So
I think we're
Okay.
gonna do it.
basically,
The bottom
you
line is
do
this.
you. But if this comes back to me and you cause me a problem, I'm going to cause you a problem. You understand?
Okay, we make
understand.
you proud and not give you more work. We'll do
Excellent.
so much good work that you do no work.
Oh, big thing.
Oh.
Before you start any of this, before you do a single thing, I want you and you to build an officer's headquarters somewhere around here. You need a building.
Ooh.
You need a building of authority. You can't be running around telling people what to do when you don't even have a building or an office. Do you think? What do you think I'd be without the permit office? I'd be nothing. I'm just a man. You need a
Can
building
we
to
temporarily
represent.
shack up in the permit office?
No,
So we have a
need-
build.
No, you need your own building. I made the permit office. That's where I
No,
live.
he's not letting us go in there.
One last thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna need your vehicle. Here you go.
Who's Chip?
I'm gonna introduce you to Pig Me Up Scotty and Neil Hamstrong. You've met before. You've been to space. These are your
Yeah.
rides on official Popo duty. You can ride these fellas if you want to be taken seriously.
This is what we're riding around now. All right, so,
Dude,
so here's the thing.
Hamstrong, Hamland, Hamstam,
Am hock.
Hambuzz. What's his name again?
All right, fellas. I think you got it from here. Good luck with your building. Good luck. Remember, building first.
We're gonna
Thank
make
you,
proud.
Commissioner Grian.
All right.
Say hi to Permit Grian for us.
Hopefully, this doesn't blow up in my face.
Dude, what should we blow up first?
Oh, for goodness sake. I've made a monumental mistake here. I don't care. Okay, we're back at the base and out of uniform. I've not been on the server in a good week. It's been so busy, just IRL with appointments and all the rest of it. Don't you hate it when real life gets in the way of your video gaming? But either way, I've been thinking a lot about what to do here. As you can tell, the trail of destruction that is my storage has slowly, increasingly spread in this direction, and it hasn't really stopped. Believe it or not, despite it getting bigger, this is me trying to tidy up. Look at this. These chests actually have one kind of block in each of them, which is a big, big step forward. However, this season has been a little different for me. So, I think I've said this before, I'm not sure. I'm reacting to how I play the season. So instead of forcing my storage system up there or in that building, which was my original plan, I've tried to be self-aware about how I interact with the world. And since this is where I always have and probably always will store my items, I think it's probably a good idea to store my items exactly where I've been storing them. I'm not gonna force them in there. I'm basically going to build a building right here that can be my storage facility. I was fishing there, so I built up around here. I wasn't up there, so that's where I've been putting my farms. There's a Cub fan, and hello, Cub fan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, just, monologuing, talking about mess.
That's cool. Green, I got a question for you.
Go.
Check out this firework. Do you like it? And if so, can I sell it in my Kaboom fireworks shop?
Green 1. Oh.
And that's supposed to be a waffle, by the way, on the side there. I don't
Is
know
it?
if you noticed that.
Wait,
at all.
is this? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it does look like a waffle. Okay. Is Cub? Just, I need you to set my expectations. Have you managed to make my face?
Yes.
What?
kind of.
That's not my face, Cub.
I tried, man. I tried.
I'm disappointed now. I thought that was my face. I was, like the creeper face. I was kind of expecting something magical like that.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice.
those are as close to my colors as you can get with fireworks, and I love it. That is a really nice firework. For some reason, I thought you just broke the game and managed to just make face fireworks.
It would be awesome if we could do so, but no.
Yeah,
no.
you sell those. You've got the permit for all.
You happy?
The
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You got all.
All right,
got all
Green,
the permits
you
for that.
keep
What's that?
those. You keep those. There's going to be more free ones coming for you, and that's going to be
Oh.
like your payment for allowing me to sell this in the fireworks shop.
Nice. They're cool. They were really cool, don't get me wrong. I wasn't pooping on his parade. I just, for some reason, because it's Cub, I thought he just broke the game and managed to make impossible shapes with fireworks, and then he said he did, and so I got a little bit disappointed by that. But that is really cool. I like what he's doing with the explosive fireworks. Okay, so we've got a bunch of projects. Obviously, I'm midway through tidying up, and I've started doing this because I need ink sacs. However, this is not an effective way to get ink sacs. I don't believe that squid spawn in the bubbles, and making a squid farm with all this water around is unlikely. So I need to brainstorm this a little bit. There might be a little way to passively farm it. I just need to figure it out. As for unfinished projects go, at what point do we call this an unfinished project? Because I cannot... when I say I mean Snail Squiddly Diddly over here. The two snails are still... They've been mining. They've been mining even more. At what point do these guys need to move on? How long do they need to wait for Scar? Wait, question. How long are you guys waiting for Scar? Because I bet you guys have been waiting for him to take this down for quite some time. Maybe this is just a permanent feature. Okay, the snails might need to escape, because we can't leave them in there. I have content to make as well. Alright, let's make some headway. Looks like he has made a daring escape. Right, let's do something here, because this is getting out of hand, and we're going to make just a very quick, kind of going to match this and that, and just cover this very peculiar square shape up with a roof that's going to be, again, it's going to have a weirdly pitched roof. I've got a basic geometry going on here. It's pretty messy, and that's okay for the time being. As with everything we're building, or most things that we're building this season, it's been freehand, which means quite a lot of little alterations. Now, what this building is currently screaming at me is this bit's too small, but we can make up for that by having it kind of extend and then having a triangle-shaped building that fits in here. It isn't part of the storage, which is going to remain open and accessible underneath, but it might help give this more substance and fit in more with the height and scale of everything else. And because this is a bit of a strange shape, we are going to dirt scaffolding this out. Just like here, where I've been experimenting with the shapes, I'm just going to do this in dirt scaffolding. If you don't know where to begin, don't worry about the colors, because you can get a bit overwhelmed about that. You just start off with your basic layout, and dirt is the way to go with this. The shape of the build's not too bad, but I'm thinking what needs to happen is it needs to start sort of here and kind of go up again. Alright, I've not been the snail copter in the background. Every time I get a glimpse of it. Has Scar even seen this yet? Alright, I've not been very good at talking through this build, and the truth is, it's because I've created a shape that I don't think has a name. I honestly, I couldn't talk this through even if I wanted to. It wasn't going very well, then it was going well for a while, and now we're back to I don't know where we are. So... it looks, I mean, it is a weird shape as it is. It's kind of like got this weird turtle shell going on and then a weird smile. But that's not really the weirdest thing about it. The weirdest thing is that it's super thin and it's a diagonal. And this side has an even weirder shape. But as you can see, I've filled it in with a bunch of dirt, and I've started to add a bit more texture, but most importantly, and this will make some of you very, very excited, not me, I've added in some chests and a ton of barrels to start actually storing my stuff in a very sensible way, and it's been making me feel sick. Maybe that's why this episode has taken me so long to create. Why don't we play a game of What Doing? Now, What Doing is where Grian goes round the rest of the server to anyone online and asks, what doing? Most of the time, people aren't doing much, but sometimes, just sometimes, people are doing a thing. Alright, it's looking a lot better with a little bit of texture. Now, blank spaces can be really important in building, negative spaces. That's why I've got quite a lot of just nothing in the middle here. If I wanted to, I could add something that makes it a bit more fun to look at, but I'm not going to go overboard because, like I said, I'm quite happy with the way that this looks. There we go. I think that's fine. I'm not going to touch it. Now, we need to move our attention to texturing this top half, which can have something more exciting to look at. Okay, so what do we do here? Well, I already know that I want to have orange involved, probably this side, and then transition away from it. But it's sometimes not that easy, especially in survival mode, to know exactly what color blocks that I want along the way. And as with everything, Minecraft these days, there's tools out there to help us. So let's hop on to a creative server really quickly, and I'm going to show you something very interesting that B-Dubs introduced me to. This is a color field that's provided by the mod Axiom, which is a mod that I've not actually used very much, but I have used this. Now, this might look a little bit confusing if you've never seen anything like this before, but this is a color field, and this allows you to go from point A to point B and pick up blocks along the way. So if I know that I want to start, for example, with the orange, which I do, and I know that I want to end up somewhere over there, all I have to do is pick block as I go along and make my way all the way to here. And look at that, just by traveling from point A to point B, I've got my block palette. Now I don't have to use every single block here, but take a look at that. That's about as close to a perfect gradient as I'm going to get from this color to this color. So I want to thank B-Dubs for showing me this because it's actually a very, very useful tool. Start with the orange sand. We're going to go to red sandstone, and we're just going to fill this in to begin with. Now, as I've been saying, I freeform my builds this season for the most part, so it might take me a little while to get the right blend here. We want to avoid big flat headbutts between blocks. We kind of want to blend them in a little bit. Now that works pretty well. That's a pretty fluid pattern, and you have to, like, you know, not look at it directly. But remember, we haven't added anything yet. We haven't got any windows. We haven't got any details. It's pure color wall at the moment. I might break the rules because breaking rules is part of building, and add just a smidge of normal dirt in there. Just to, this rooted dirt's quite busy on the eyes, so I'm going to try and smoothen that out a little bit with some normal dirt. And the other side's done as well now. Alright, I'm trying to figure out a window for this, and it's not going particularly well, but I would like to... Actually, there we go. I think that's done the trick. Again, you can't look at these things too carefully. You kind of have to just let it blend in to the surroundings. And you know what? This whole building, despite me wanting to tear it down and rip my eyeballs out, I think this has actually gone really, really well. It flows with the rest of whatever it is I've got going on here. Just needs a little something more, and I think I can call this finished. Overall, pretty happy with this very strange, very useful building that's probably been a long time coming, because I can start tidying up this mess. Whether or not all of these barrels on the floor and all of these chests are going to be enough to tidy up this place, I don't know, but it's certainly a very, very good start. And I can always move into the very strange room upstairs if I need that little bit more space, and I can hide junk in here as well. Right, building done. Very happy. Ow. Very happy. Let's go. And first check our shop, and then play What Doing. If we see anyone, we'll do What Doing. I've passed this tree a couple times. I call it a tree. It's a stack of trees. I've passed it a couple times. It keeps growing. Right, how have my enforcement officers been doing? I see nothing closed, so nothing's changed, so they're not doing their job, and that's exactly what we want. Right, let's take a look, see what we've got. Nobody wants red sand. A few people want some mushrooms, but our big seller, let's see. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous shulker box. Pre-murder diamonds. What? I'm gonna just put these. I'm gonna put those back and pretend like I don't know what that is. Do I? If I take them, do I die? Who's responsible for this? Why would they rename this? I have so many questions. Who? What? Why? When? And where? Alright, that's really good. That does mean we need to do a tiny bit of boring restocking. So why don't we just take these with us and go and sort that out now before it becomes a problem that I ignore and then I get my own shop shut down. Alright, big restock incoming. Good job I pre-prepared a lot of this. But we do have an issue, to be honest, that we don't sell dark prismarine. Now that is a bit of a problem, I'll be honest, because it's a big seller and I don't have black dye in any significant quantities. It's a very expensive block. With all of this, 1 stack. And we'll send the first batch through to the man who desperately needs it. Etho. To get your roof started. Let me show you why I've done this. I don't know if we've been to Etho's base. You know what, that building fits in really nicely. We haven't been to Etho's base, but for the longest time, it's had this crater in the middle of it. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. He has got a little bit of dark prismarine there, but he needs to build this, and he said it's because of dark prismarine stock levels. So I don't know what this is about. There we go. 1 diamond per... Yes. And you can have some pre-murder diamonds. Done, and done. Is that my horse? Pluto! Even when I'm not riding it, this horse is an absolute nuisance. How did you get all the way over there? And more importantly, how long have you been there? I didn't notice that he was even missing. Am I? I'm reading this correctly, right? Not now. What? Not now. Not now? Okay, maybe later. Yeah, maybe not now. I also don't know if that's spoilers, because that's... Well, that's no moon. And that's definitely not a moon. So I don't know what's going on. Okay. What doing? What doing?
I'm playing horns, mate. What do you mean, what doing?
Clarice,
I'm confused.
I'm not the biggest fan of these, because I can't tell who's talking.
Isn't that the best part about it, though?
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's great. I love it. Look, wait. I want to test one on you. Wait, did someone buy it? Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, who's doing this horn? Girl.
That's you.
Dang it. You're supposed to say Gem.
It does sound like Gem.
Sounds like Gem.
It does sound like Gem.
Yes.
It does sound like Gem.
See? Oh, I'm so glad you agree.
It does
She
sound
says
like Gem.
it doesn't. Girl. Come on. I
Was
can
that-
do a good Gem impression.
Wait. Was that live?
Girl.
See, this is why I don't like the horns. This is why I don't like the horns. I couldn't tell if that was real or not. I've got to admit
what
something
makes
to you,
them
Pearl.
the best.
I've already been shown that horn. I already knew the answer.
Oh, well, who
Okay.
showed you the horn? They must have been real proud of it.
Gem.
Ah, there you go. All right. Which beat-ups one are you looking for?
When he says, "Hey there, little guy,"
Oh, honestly, that's probably been sold. I don't think Cub does duplicates.
he doesn't do duplicates.
No, sadly not.
All right, it has been
this
a fun what doing talk. So I'm gonna go and see if anyone else is doing something.
Okay, enjoy finding what doing.
Now, the one rule of what doing is you can't ask in the chat what doing. If you're going to do what doing properly, you've got to find the person and catch them doing what they're doing. Right? Because if I ask what's doing in chat, they'll just change their behavior. I want to... Oh, fancy cave. I want to find whatever they're doing in the moment. Even if it's not super exciting. What doing? Muted what doing. Wait. She doesn't know I'm here? Boop.
Why?
What?
you like this?
What doing?
Hello, there we go.
Oh, that's completely made that clip useless. I was playing What Doing? What's the big hole
I'm
for?
sorry. There's going to be a monster trapped down there, and then at the end of the season, it's going to come through the roof. Is the plan.
Wasn't expecting that. I can't believe you did this
It
big
should be cool.
explosion and didn't ask.
It wasn't an explosion.
What?
I did that by hand.
What? Why wouldn't you do an explosion?
I did a bit of an explosion last night, but I hadn't thought about doing it beforehand. But most of it's done by hand, at least.
Wow, that's
So-
pretty impressive. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thanks
At
for
least it
thanks for
should
playing
be.
What Doing. All right, voice mod ruined that What Doing a little bit, but we did get to see some part of the server we haven't seen before. Creepy mineshaft go into big hole with giant monster eventually. That sounds pretty cool. I haven't found Joe anywhere. He's not in his base. But Impulse has got online. What doing?
Hi, Green. Streaming, actually.
Ah. Do you know who's been paying in pre-murder diamonds? I don't know. One, I don't know what that means, and I don't know who it is.
Me either. But I received payment as well, pre-murder diamonds, and I don't know if it's a threat.
I don't like the sound of it.
Maybe shouldn't have accepted the payment. You know?
I've used them in someone else's shop, so hopefully it kind of
You
pays
just
it forward.
Pass it along. Pass it along. There you go. Can't get
Pay
me.
it forward.
I'm not the holder of it. No way. No way.
There'll be one time when where someone's doing something incredible, and it's gonna be the best. And I'm waiting for that moment.
So you're waiting for Etho to log on?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
yeah. Etho, where are you,
Fair.
buddy? All right, I do have something that I wanted to try, but I think I already know the answer, and that's unfortunate.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to know what the fastest way to descend is, but I think I already know the answer.
I think it might be Ender Pearl.
Oh, okay, right. I'm gonna
I
go.
think you can. Well,
I'm gonna
wings
no,
straight
because I
down.
think of something different. I think it depends on the height. One. I think it depends on the height because.
I mean, are you talking about like you have to travel the whole thing, or can we like Ender Pearl stasis chamber activation to teleport you, or something like that?
all
Or
right. Well,
do you have to physically move the entire path?
I was thinking of physically moving and not teleporting, but I guess
Right.
does Ender Pearling count in my invented game in my head?
I don't think so, because then it's the teleportation.
Yeah.
I mean, like a chorus.
Descend.
fruit could
Is
do
it descending?
something.
That's teleporting. It's not descending. I'm talking
Yeah,
getting
it's not
from A
descending.
to B. You've got to go down. Whereas teleporting is that descending? I guess it is, but you don't actually travel. Okay.
What kind of things are you thinking? Other than just diving straight down with wings, what else you got in mind?
Well, hold on. You go. You get yours ready. I'll get mine ready, and we'll see. I need to go and get some
Well,
materials.
we gotta build
you get
we
your
gotta get to build
materials.
height.
But
Okay.
you choose your method. I'll choose my method. We'll do a tower to build height. But once we start setting up, you're locked in on your method. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Meet in the middle of the city.
I think I've got the answer, and it's not what Impulse said. So, right, my method is something that's accidentally happened to me a bunch of times, but I need to test it real quick. Oh, I'm nervous because I feel like I've challenged Impulse, but I haven't actually tested my thoughts. This is gonna take me forever to make a pillar to build height, but my idea is quite simple. It's go into fly mode while on a ladder. How do I do that? How do I do that easily? Something really strange that happens with ladders and flying. You do go you go super fast downwards. I think more so than flying. I think you go faster when you're next to a ladder. See, this is. Oh yeah, you speed up so quickly. I think. Well, we're gonna find out. This is my method. I'm locking in this method. It might not be the right one, but we will see. I think my biggest time. Yeah, that'll be my time constraint is getting the jump right.
Okay, Green. We have a lot of contestants, but we have to bottom out on the rules.
Fancy pants.
Okay, right. All right. So the rules are pretty simple. You have a pillar that goes all the way to build height. You have to descend. You don't have to survive. You have to descend and be the first to hit the ground. But we're saying no teleporting, right? No ender pearling.
Correct.
You have to physically move. Hang on. Oh, it's just the perspective. Oh my goodness, I thought that this was taller than that. Okay, it's just the player perspective. Oh, there's a box here. Your curiosity rewards you. Do I get to keep this? I feel like I get to keep this. Replay started. Is everyone ready and chosen a way to descend?
Yes. Ready?
Okay, let's just like ask ourselves real quick what each of us is doing. So I have chosen to do an elytra down a ladder because I think it increases your velocity as you go down. All right.
Yep. Checks out.
Okay.
Know
Cleo?
that.
I have decided to rocket face plant into the ground.
Okay, solid. Joe?
I'm going to trident, then rocket faceplant into the ground.
Oh, okay, mixing it up. Pearl?
See, now I don't seem original because Cleo's stolen my idea.
No, that's all right. That's
yes,
all right.
it was an original idea
No,
that
this,
I had.
this is just what you personally think is the fastest way to descend, okay? It's not...
Give me a minute to think about it, man. I got nothing.
All
in
right,
this
Impulse,
brain.
what you got?
I'm going straight riptide, straight down. No rockets, just riptide.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
There might be a slight delay in what this looks like from the word go, but we'll do our best, okay? All right, is everyone ready?
Ready?
So I'm gonna say it'll be 3, 2, 1, go, and we're gonna go on go. All right.
Okay.
All right. This
I'll go a bit earlier.
requires perfect execution. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Did you?
You know, at least I
feel
fell
like
with
Trident-
style.
I feel like the trident worked pretty well.
I think Joe might have won. And here comes Impulse.
I made it!
All right.
Just made it.
I
Joe,
definitely,
can I have
I
my stuff back?
definitely beat Impulse, Pearl, and Cleo, but Joe might have beaten me.
Yeah, let's
Joe
check it out.
was
on replay
very
mod.
fast.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go and review the footage. I'll be right back. Right, so let's play this back. Let's see what happened. All right, so here we go. Let's play this. Slow it down. So I'm going pretty fast. Oh, Joe, absolutely. Oh, it's close. Oh, so he just riptide and then fell. Wow. Okay, interesting. And then there goes Cleo and Pearl. And I don't think we need to wait for Impulse a second time. Impulse was so slow that he's extremely last place. Pearl and Cleo basically neck and neck, but Joe beat me by a few meters, and it was super interesting because I don't think you even managed to use a rocket from the replay.
Yeah, so I had them in the offhand, but they weren't triggering, and I guess it was because I never engaged my elytra.
No, you
Because
didn't.
I was clicking it and it wasn't going off. But
What
yeah,
you did was
that must-
riptide and then just fell, and you just picked up so much momentum. That was good. So well done, Joe. Joe, apparently,
Wow.
if you wanna descend fastest, you got a riptide, then just fall.
Joe, can we get a demonstration?
Hey Joe, while you do that, can I try something at the same time just to see if it's faster?
Ender pearling is
Yeah, if you
illegal.
like.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Yeah,
I've only seen a portion of the stream.
We said no teleporting because you gotta be in motion.
Fair enough. I'm gonna throw an ender pearl anyway just to see if it's faster.
yeah.
You ready, Joe?
Okay, so just riptide. I'm not gonna try the trident, or sorry, I'm not gonna try the rockets this time.
Yeah.
So
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
One riptide.
Yeah,
Wow.
that just gives him such a huge boost.
That was
Dude, it
the
is
quietest
faster than
landing.
Enderpearl.
Yeah,
I think
was,
I've
it was
ever
faster
heard.
than the Ender Pearl.
Yeah.
yeah, because the ender pearl accelerates due to gravity, but it doesn't have that initial bump.
Wow,
from the
that was, I
trident.
mean, that's quick because it just like you
That's
basically
impressive.
keep that momentum. So you riptide and get a big boost, and then you just keep getting like momentum as you go down. You don't lose anything. Can I borrow the trident? What happens if you do manage to
Yeah, yeah,
engage your elytra? We're doing Minecraft science here today. All right, so you go, and
Who, me?
yeah, I feel like it's the
Yeah,
same.
did you lose
Oh,
to
I
me?
spam the rockets instead of just using terminal velocity
Thank you.
afterwards.
Interesting.
I
Well-
spammed
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you everyone for doing my experiment. This is
You're very welcome.
this has been a fun what
Very
doing. Actually,
educational.
stop what you're doing and do this.
Apparently, what we were doing was too boring. Green had to have us do something more fun.
Well, I learned something.
Makes sense.
I really
was
thought
great.
my method was gonna be the one, but apparently just falling is the way to go.
Pretty much. And if you can get yourself a boost with the Riptide,
Yeah,
pretty smart.
I have no prizes for you except a bunch of ladders.
Yay,
I have,
ladders. I'll
I have
go
some
hang
pressure
them in
plates
my
if you
base
want some
somewhere.
pressure plates.
Well, that was a fun episode of What Doing. Maybe should we do that again in the future? I think we should. And that, I think, is what we're going to end the episode on just after I show you. Look, it's clean. Can you believe it? I've tidied up my bedroom. It actually feels incredible to be at this position. It took several hours, and there is still like just a few stragglers that I can't quite place. However, take a look at this. It all does fit, and it was getting a little bit close. I think there's only like one barrel left. Check it out. Everything is in a place. Like, this is just orange blocks, for example. This is, I think, a good compromise between having a chest for everything and just having, like, one thing in a chest. But overall, I want to show Gem. I want to show Scar. I need to show people who care about this stuff so that they appreciate the effort that I've put into this. Overall, the progress I've made today has been extremely significant. It might not be a huge build, but it is a huge bit of progress mentally and physically, tidying up the base, adding a building that works with the rest that I've got going on, and it is very, very unique. What I was going to do with this entire space was make a field like this with the rose bushes, but I think I'm going to push that back to kind of have a proper circle of buildings here, try and make it feel a bit more like a dockyard or something like that, and I've started to think about making trees. I'm not super into making trees, but that's why I've put please help. So hopefully, yeah, eventually I will come up with a tree design that can go there, and a tree design maybe that goes there. We need to start adding some reality to this build. But overall, I'm super happy. And that is where we're going to say goodbye.